The story begins with a boy named Tuya. He was sitting in a strange place, suspended between the sky and the earth. He had no idea how he ended up here, or why he was here at all. Suddenly, he noticed an old man sitting before him. The man spoke. You will now be sent to a magical world. You will never return to your own world, but you may take one thing from your world and use it in the magical realm. Tuya reached into his pocket and pulled out his cell phone. I want to take this phone with me. The old man nodded. No problem. You won't be able to call anyone from your world, but this phone may still prove useful in the magical realm. You will be able to charge it using your magic, for you will gain immense magical power, and you may call me anytime. I too can contact you through this phone. Suddenly, Tuya opened his eyes. He stood up and found himself in a strange new land. While he was trying to explore, his phone rang. The old man was calling him. I have set up the phone for you, the old man said. I placed a map of this magical world inside. Use it to find your way to the places you seek. Excited, Tuya began walking. Using his phone as a guide, he set out to find the first city, but he quickly realized he had no money. As he wandered, a horse-drawn carriage passed by. Suddenly it stopped, and a short man stepped down. He looked at Tuya and said, The clothes you're wearing, where did you get them? I want to buy them from you. The man took Tuya along until they reached a nearby city. He led him into his clothing shop, took Tuya's clothes, and paid him in gold coins. Now dressed in new clothes and holding money for the first time, Tuya asked the man about the nearest inn. The man told him of a place called the Silver Moon Inn. Following the directions on his phone, Tuya set off toward the inn. But on the way, he stumbled upon two thugs in a side street. They had taken a glass figurine from two young girls and were threatening them. Refusing to give it back, Tuya stepped forward. What is going on here? None of your business. Get lost, the thugs barked. Turning to the two girls, Tuya asked calmly, Would you sell me that figurine for a gold coin? One of them agreed, though the other looked stunned. Tuya then picked up a stone from the ground and hurled it at the figurine, shattering it. The thugs shouted, What have you done? Tuya replied firmly, The figurine is mine now. I can do whatever I want with it. One of the thugs lunged at him with a knife. Tuya stepped back lightly and struck him, knocking him down. Then he defeated the second thug as well. He handed the gold coin to the two girls. One of them thanked him, saying, My name is Elza, and this is my sister Linsa. They asked his name. When they learned he was Tuya, and that he was searching for the Silver Moon Inn, they offered to take him there, since they were also staying at the same inn. That night, they sat together in the inn. Elzy looked at him and said, You're really strong. Why don't you come with us to the Adventurers Guild? You could hunt monsters with us and earn money. Tuya agreed, then went upstairs to his room to rest. The next morning, the three of them went to the guild. They checked the notice board and found a mission for hunting monsters. Tuya bought a sword, and they each took out their guild cards. Together, they left to slay the monsters. Packs of wolves roaming nearby. Elza fought using powerful gauntlets. Lince unleashed fire magic to burn the beasts. Tuya joined them with his sword, and together, they defeated the pack. They collected the wolves' horns as proof and presented them to the guild staff, earning their first reward together. Later, they celebrated their teamwork at the inn. Tuya then asked them to teach him magic. Elza warned, You need the right qualifications to use magic. Without them, you could harm yourself. Tuya frowned. What do you mean by qualifications? Lindsay explained. These qualifications are what allow someone to become a mage. Then how can I know if I have them? Tuya asked. Lindsay pulled out a small bag filled with colored stones. These stones store magical energy. If you can use one, it means you have the qualifications. She picked up a blue stone. This is water magic. She spoke an incantation, and a small stream of water flowed out. Elzy then held the stone. I can't use this one. I don't have water affinity, but I do have qualifications for another type of magic. Lince added, Most people can't use more than 3 or 4 types of magic. It's very rare to go beyond that. Tuya asked eagerly, May I try? They gave him the stone. As soon as he spoke the incantation correctly, a powerful torrent of water gushed forth. Everyone was stunned. Can I try another? Tuya asked. Not here, they said. We need to go outside. They stepped outside. Tuya tested the firestone. It burst into flames. The earth stone. It brought forth sand, wind, light, and darkness. All responded to him. Elze and Lince were astonished. Who are you? How can you wield so many types of magic? Tuya picked up a transparent stone. What about this one? Linz explained. That stone has no fixed magic. You can imagine any spell and cast it. It can even open a teleportation gate, transporting you instantly to any place you have seen or thought of. Try it. Tuya spoke the incantation. The stone glowed and a gate appeared. He peeked through and found himself looking at the place he had visited earlier. The sisters told him, the teleportation gate can only open to places you've been to before, or strongly imagined. They returned to the inn. The inn staff asked, do you know a new recipe we could use here? Tuya smiled. Yes. I know one called ice cream. He pulled out his phone, gave them the ingredients, and helped them make it. The taste was incredible. Everyone was amazed. What is that strange tool in your hand? They asked. It's a magic tool I use, Tuya replied. Something no one else would understand. Later, while exploring the city, Tuya and the sisters learned they had to deliver an important letter to the royal capital. But before they could set out, they stumbled upon a commotion in the marketplace. A girl in Japanese-style clothing was surrounded by thugs. She tried to fight but was weak from hunger. One thug swung his sword at her. Tuya quickly used sand magic. The sand coiled around the thug, holding him in place. Tuya kicked him down. Elsa and Lindsay joined in, defeating the rest of the thugs. Then Tuya gathered all the girls and hurried them away from the scene. As they reached a side street, the girl thanked them for their help and said, my name is Yaya, and I come from a city called Ashen. Tuya was surprised. The name of that city resembled a Japanese city from his own world. Even her clothes looked the same as traditional Japanese clothing. Suddenly, the sound of her stomach growling echoed. They realized she was starving. They took her along, and she ate with astonishing hunger. She then told them she was heading to the royal capital. They suggested she travel together with them, since they too were on their way there. Yaya was overjoyed and agreed immediately. Their journey to the royal capital began. On the road, Tuya studied a book filled with magical spells he could attempt. One spell attracted objects toward him. He tried it on Yaya's sword, but nothing happened. Elsie laughed. The sword is too heavy. Try something lighter. So Tuya cast the spell on Yaya's hair ribbon. This time it floated toward him. The girl scolded him. Don't you dare use this spell to steal people's belongings. Tuya raised his hands. I'd never do something like that. Yaya frowned. In that case, kindly return my ribbon. From then on, Tuya practiced many other spells. Among them was one that allowed him to sense distant smells. Suddenly, he lifted his head. I smell blood. They hurried to the source and found a group of lizard-like monsters, led by a mysterious man, attacking travelers inside a carriage. Battle erupted. Linz unleashed fire magic. Yaya swung her sword bravely, but she stumbled and fell. A monster lunged at her, ready to strike. Tuya quickly cast the spell, Slip. The beast lost its footing and collapsed. Yaya rose to her feet and slew it. They thought the fight was over, but more monsters appeared. Then more, and more again. Tuya's eyes narrowed. The mysterious man was summoning them. With another slip spell, he sent the man crashing to the ground. They tied him up at once. Soon royal guards arrived, thanking them for their aid. Then came a soft sound, crying from inside the carriage. They rushed to it and found a man with an arrow piercing his chest. A young girl wept beside him. The man held her hand weakly. My time is up. I will die. Please take care of yourself. But Tuya stepped forward. He gripped the broken arrow, then released magic from his hand. The fragments inside the man's body dissolved away. He followed with healing magic. The man gasped and sat upright, alive once more. The girl's face lit up with joy. She thanked them endlessly. The man introduced himself. My name is Ram. I am the head butler of Duke Alfred's household, and this girl is Sushi, the Duke's daughter. Tuya froze in shock. Elsa whispered to him, Duke Alfred is the king's own brother. That means Sushi is royalty. Reem bowed. We are heading to the royal capital. Please accompany us and guard us on the way. They agreed, since it matched their own destination. When they finally arrived at the capital and entered the Duke's mansion, Duke Alfred himself rushed forward. He embraced his daughter, relief flooding his face. Thank you, Tuya, he said solemnly. You saved her. Tuya shook his head. I only did what was right. Later, the Duke invited him to tea. I have many enemies, born of politics. They wish to harm me by striking at my daughter. At that moment, Sushi entered. Her father asked gently, Did you greet your mother? Yes, she nodded. I checked on her. Duke Alfred sighed heavily. My wife is gravely ill. She has lost her sight. We tried everything, even healing magic, but nothing has worked. Only someone with extraordinary power could save her. Sushi lowered her head. If only we could find someone who could heal her eyes. The sisters looked at each other. Then they pointed at Tuya. He can do it. Together they entered the Duchess's chamber. Tuya extended his hand, casting his healing magic over her eyes. Everyone waited in silence. Then, her eyes opened. Sight returned. Tears fell as she clung to her husband and daughter. Duke Alfred's joy overflowed. I must reward you. Ram brought forth a chest and a heavy pouch. He handed the pouch to Tuya. Inside are 40 platinum coins. The girls gasped. Tuya blinked. Platinum coins? Elsie explained. 1 platinum coin is worth 100 gold coins. It is the highest form of currency, Tuya quickly realized. He was now incredibly rich. Then Duke Alfred opened the chest. These are my personal medals. Keep them. With these, you may enter any place in the royal capital without being stopped. After delivering their letter and completing their mission, the group gathered to decide their next steps. Tuya turned to Yaya. What about you? What will you do now? Yaya smiled warmly. I've decided to join your team and stay with you always. The others cheered. Their party had grown stronger and their bonds deeper. After that, they wandered through the royal capital. Tuya saw a group of demi-humans, half human and half animal. Then he noticed a girl standing there, looking deeply troubled. When he approached and asked her, she trembled in fear. He gently calmed her and asked, "What's wrong?" Through tears, she answered, "I got separated from my sister. I don't know where she is." Tuya pulled out his phone to locate her sister. Indeed, they guided the girl until she was reunited with her sibling. The elder sister hugged her tightly, overjoyed, and thanked them for their help. After saying their farewells, they moved on. They stopped at several shops and Tuya bought new clothes. The girls looked at him and said, "These clothes suit you perfectly." Tuya blushed and smiled shyly. Then they returned once more to their city. The girls went out to buy sweets while Tuya stayed at the inn. When they returned, they told him, "Please deliver these sweets to Duke Alfred." Tuya used the teleportation gate magic and brought the sweets to them. Sushi was delighted. Later, Tuya created a Japanese chess set and gifted it to Duke Alfred, teaching him the rules. The Duke was fascinated, and he played with Tuya through the night. When Tuya returned to his city, he was completely exhausted. The next morning, they once again traveled back to the royal capital through the teleportation gate and headed to the Adventurers Guild there. They selected a mission to hunt a monster for reward money and went to face it. The battle began. They fought with all their strength. Tuya called out to Linz, "Use ice magic. Freeze the monster." Linz cast her spell, freezing it solid. Tuya followed with a powerful strike, shattering the frozen beast completely. Afterward, they sat together and thought about searching for treasure in the nearby ruins. Tuya tried a magic detection spell, but found nothing. Elsa suggested, "Try a stronger spell. Search for something valuable." Tuya released greater magic. Light spread across the area. He discovered something hidden deep below. It was beneath heavy ruins. Linz focused her magic and unleashed a powerful blast, destroying the rubble. A massive door appeared. Tuya opened it. They descended long stairs into the depths. Linz created a glowing orb of light to guide them. At the end, they found a giant wall inscribed with magical runes. Tuya photographed the wall with his phone, then cast a spell upon it. The wall shone brightly, opening into a vast passage. They entered and soon reached the strange thing Tuya had sensed earlier. Brushing away the dirt, they uncovered a glass statue. Suddenly, Linz's magic orb weakened. The red orb inside the statue absorbed its light. The statue glowed, sprouted limbs, and transformed into a colossal glass monster. The ground began to collapse around them. Tuya quickly opened a teleportation gate and pulled everyone out, returning them safely. But in an instant, a magical light appeared. The glass monster reappeared before them. It lunged at Tuya, who dodged swiftly. The beast attacked again. Linz cast fire magic, but the monster absorbed the flames. Yaya struck it with her sword, but the blade had no effect, and she was thrown back. Elsie charged with her gauntlets, yet her punches did nothing. Tuya cast Slip to push it away. Then he shouted to Linza, "Make an ice boulder. Throw it now." At that moment, Elsa rushed in and smashed its limbs apart. They thought they had won, but the red orb inside the monster shone again. New limbs emerged. It lashed out, striking Elsa in the chest. She collapsed, weakened. Tuya ran to her side, using healing magic to restore her. She recovered, but the monster pressed forward. Yaya tried to hold it back. Then, an idea struck Tuya. He advanced, casting the attraction spell. The red orb was ripped out of the monster's body. He hurled it toward Elsa, who caught it mid-air and shattered it with her gauntlets. The glass monster began to crumble, melting away until it was destroyed. Afterward, they reported everything to Duke Alfred. The Duke declared, "I will send an official expedition to investigate this incident and uncover the truth about this monster." Tuya showed him the photographs of the magical texts he had captured. Alfred was shocked by the strange device in Tuya's hands. Later, they returned to the inn. Using drawing magic, Tuya transferred the images from his phone onto parchment. When he went again to the Duke's mansion, he found Alfred rushing out in his carriage. The Duke shouted, "Get in, quickly." Tuya asked. What happened? Alfred answered with a grim face. My brother the king has been poisoned. I am going to him now, and I want you to come with me. Along the way, Duke Alfred spoke to Tuya and said, My brother the king wishes to form diplomatic relations with the king of the monster kingdom. But there are people within the palace who oppose his